All right, today, folks, we got a few things we're going to be going over, 3 things specifically. One, we're going to be working on some of the kind of traditional martial arts strikes that we don't cover too much in class, but definitely are worthwhile. We're going to be going over things like palm heels and shutos or ridge hands, things like that. We're going to be going over our self-defense as well, Control 5 and Control 6. We're going to be finishing up those techniques, right? Make sure that you know how they end, right? They both start almost the same, but their ending is a little bit different. We're going to make sure we cover that. And then finally, we're going to be talking about focus, right? Dealing with distractions, how to make sure that we're not being a distraction, and how to make sure that things that are around us that are distracting us don't make our performance go down, and instead we can maintain our high level of excellence. So we have a lot to go over. Let's get started with some warm-ups, and we'll see where we go from there. So for our warm-up today, we're going to be doing 4 moves. Each of those moves is 30 seconds long. We're going to start off with some ski jumps. When we do our ski jumps, right, nice and easy, not too fast. Ready, set, and go. Get your body ready. Move your arms a little bit if you can. Right, you can wiggle them, shake them out. Just keep hopping, keep breathing. Small jumps here. You don't have to jump too hard, too far, or too fast. Just keep going. A few more seconds and time. Okay, next up, you do some twist and blocks, right? So you're in your fighting stance. You're going to come across with a crossbody block, cross with a crossbody block. Just twisting your body, loosening up through your spine, your back, turning your feet, turning your hips, right? Turning your shoulders, not turning your head. Try and keep your head pretty stable, keep you from getting dizzy. A few more seconds. Block and block, block and block, block and block. Good. All right. Switch your legs. You can do these sideways so you can get a different angle of these. And go. Turn and block. Turn and block. Right? For those of you who are a little bit more advanced, who maybe learned how to block a roundhouse kick and sparring with a kind of a double block, it's a little bit what we're doing right now. But if you're not too sure about that, and you're just twisting, think about doing a crossbody block, that's fine. The big thing here is the turning, right? That your feet are moving, your hips are turning, right? Just getting warmed up, loosened up, ready for class. Good. Okay. Last move, we have crawl outs, right? For a crawl out, I'll show you one, and then we'll do 30 seconds worth. You start standing up, you squat down, bend your knees a lot, right? You're gonna crawl out on your hands. You can take your time doing this. You can do 1 push-up, you can crawl back, do a little hop. That's what you can do, right? So we're doing that for 30 seconds. I'm gonna turn sideways so you get a sense of what that looks like. So from here, squat down, crawl out, do a push-up, crawl back, tiny hop, right? Go at your own speed, right? If you're feeling a little sprightly, you want to challenge yourself, you can go fast. If you need to take your time, you can take your time. If you're having a hard time with the push-up part, when you get out, you can put your knees down, do the push-up that way, pick your feet back up, crawl out, do the hop. All right. So that'll bring it into our warm-up. Let's get ready for the main class right now. So today we're going to go over some of the kind of traditional hand strikes in martial arts, things like a chop, right, and a palm heel and a ridge hand. And we're doing open hand strikes today, right? Now, each strike has kind of benefits and trade-offs compared to, say, a closed fist punch, right? But we're going to go through each of them one at a time and make sure that we do them safely and appropriately so that we can use them in class as we kind of move forward. So first of all, we're going to be talking about a palm heel. Now, a palm heel is actually a really important strike to learn. It's one of the safer ways to strike that's similar to a punch. If you are striking someone in the head, right, you probably want to hit with a palm heel. If you're hitting like a hard surface, you generally want to use a palm heel. If you're hitting something softer, then you can make a fist, because your fist is it's strong, but it's not as strong as the heel of your palm. Okay, you can palm heel something hard and not break your hand. If you punch and you make a mistake, you'll hurt yourself. Right, so it's actually really good for someone who's a beginner, right, or if you're hitting to a hard surface like, the head. Okay, so we're gonna start off with the palm heel. When we do our palm heel, we have to pull our fingers back. You can kind of see that my fingers are out of the way. A lot of people make the mistake of letting their fingers curl when they do a palm heel, and then they smack their fingertips and they go, ow. Yeah, don't do that. So you wanna keep your fingers pulled back, and you hit with the heel of your palm, which is down here, not up here. All right, so we're gonna do 10 palm heels on each side. Set yourself up. Ready, palm heel. We're using our right hand. Ready, go 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, I don't want to get into the details of this. 5, but the body mechanics of this. 6 is just like when you throw a punch. 7, nothing's really different. 8, 9, and 10. Good. Okay, we're going to switch your legs. Same idea. Palm heel. Think about hitting right here. Ready? 1, 2, 3. You can see I'm turning my shoulders. 4, turning your feet. Same thing as a punch. 5, 6, but pull those fingers back. 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so we're going to switch back. Now we're going to do kind of like the equivalent of a jab cross, only we're going to do it with palm heels. So your hands are open, straight, 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 straight. Now very often when we teach like a women's self-defense class, right, or we're teaching a beginner how to defend themselves and they want to learn very quickly, we don't bother teaching them how to punch. We teach them how to palm heel because it's an easy and safe way to learn how to strike, and you can hit with it. And like I said, as long as you keep your fingers pulled back, right, it's very strong, you won't get hurt. Okay, let's switch our legs. Same thing the other side. Palm heel, palm heel, palm heel, palm heel. Right, just like your jab cross. Just keep your fingers pulled back. That's the big thing, right? Keep your fingers pulled back. Hit with the heel of your palm. Right. If you do that, you've got a pretty good palm heel. Let's do 2 more. And 1 more. Okay. Next, we're going to switch to a chop, right? Now, I've heard all sorts of names, karate chop and shuto and all sorts of things like that. We're just going to call it a chop today, right? When you do your shuto, your hand is pretty flat, but there are a couple things that you're going to do. First thing you're going to do is you're going to pull your fingers back like that. Okay, and as soon as you feel like you do that, you're going to feel your arm tighten up. You're like, oh, that burns. And then you're going to take that last knuckle, you're going to bend it down. And when you do that, you'll be like, oh, that really burns. It really tightens up your hand, and it tightens up your forearm, and that's kind of what we want. So in the very least, you want to try and do this, right? If you can, you also tuck your pinky and tuck your thumb, so it kind of looks like that, right? It's a little bit in, right? Just a little bit out of the way. So you get a lot of things that you're doing with your hand to do a shudo well. If you do that correctly, man, you'll be like, oh, Sensei, it burns my arm. It's on fire. Well, hopefully it's not actually on fire. That'd be catastrophic. But yeah, that's your muscles tightening up and strengthening, right? So that's a good sign, right? So what we're going to do now is we can do chops all sorts of different angles. We're going to be doing a sideways chop like this, okay? Kind of looks like you're asking for a 5. Your palm is up, okay? So we're going to do this. We're turning our shoulder, turning our body. It's very similar to how we turned on our palm heel because that's how you generate power. You turn, right? So try and get that hand the right way. That's the hard part. Ready? 1, chop. 2, chop. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good, and we're going to switch. Now, the nice thing about a chop is it fits into tight areas, right? So very often goes to something like, oh, I'm trying to hit the neck. I don't want to hit the head. I don't want to hit the shoulder. So you can get into that fine area with a chop. Not always, but very often. It also makes a smaller surface area so you get more kind of penetration on your strike. But I'm not worried about that too much today. Let's just get that hand the right way. Ready, hand 1, little bend to your fingers. 2, tuck your thumb. My first one was actually not as good as I wanted it to be. That's okay. 3, that's what I get for switching and talking. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, so we've got our palm heel, we've got our chop. The last one we're going to go over today is called a ridge hand. Now, a ridge hand hits with the thumb side of your hand over here, right? And there's like a little muscle between your thumb and your pointer finger. That's kind of where you're trying to make contact with a ridge hand. This one comes around with your arm pretty much straight, okay? The same thing that you did with your fingers in terms of pulling up and bending down, that still happens, but it's super important on this one that you take your thumb and you tuck it underneath, right? So if you can only do one thing, if you're like, I can't remember all that, tuck your thumb underneath, right? Then you can tighten your fingers, and your pinky's kind of irrelevant, right? So we're coming around with a ridge hand just like that. We're gonna do 10. Ready? Go 1, 2, 3, and you can see it's mostly straight. 4, 5. You actually bend it a little bit so you don't hurt your elbow. 6, but your arm's pretty straight. 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Other side. This is actually one of my favorite strikes to break with. I like doing a ridge hand. I don't know why. But it's a fun strike. Ready on 1, 2, 3. Tuck your thumb in. 4. Bend your fingers. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Okay, so those are a few different open hand strikes that you learn in martial arts. There's some more that we could go through, but putting your hand into different positions gives you different options and different advantages, right? So like I said, with a palm heel, you can hit a really hard target without fear of hurting yourself. These kind of bladed strikes, you can kind of squeeze into smaller targets, like chopping someone in the neck, right? Which is not a particularly large target. Can be kind of sneaky with those strikes, but kind of fun. Hope you had fun with them. Let's get ready for the next part of class. All right, so we're going to be doing some strikes to our stuffed animal or to our ball, right? So you can use any kind of medium-sized thing, something that you can hold in one hand that you can hit with the other. This is, like I said, pretty soft target is good. Stuffed animal may be my first choice for this. But if you don't have a stuffed animal, you can use a soccer ball or any ball that when you hit against it, it's not going to hurt. We're not going to be hitting super duper hard, but what we are going to be doing is trying to feel where we make impact with our different strikes, our palm heel, our shudo, or our chop rather, and our ridge hand, right? So here's what you're going to do. You're going to set yourself up, hold the ball in one hand, okay? And we're going to turn it kind of sideways. And again, you may be holding the teddy bear, right, like this as well, right? And what we're going to do is we're going to do our chop right into it, okay? We're not trying to break it. We're not hitting super hard. We're just seeing what part of our hand actually makes contact. And what we're really looking for is that you hit right here, right? Don't feel your finger. If you feel your finger hit, you know you did it wrong. Right here, good. Right here, you broke your finger. Don't break your finger, all right? So we're going to do 5 chops to the ball. Ready? 1, 2, and you can see how I'm hitting. 3, right into it. 4, you can see I'm also hitting not with my fingers, I'm hitting with my hand. And 5. Okay, now we're going to switch. We're going to do a ridge hand, the exact same thing. We come across, we hit here. We're hitting with this part of our hand, right? We want to feel it as we hit something that's kind of soft. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, now we're going to switch our hands. We're going to do the exact same thing. So hold the ball in the other hand. All right, we're going to start off with our chops. Make sure you get your finger out of the way. Hit with the edge of your hand, not the edge of your finger. Ready, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I know you're strong. I don't want you hitting strong. I want you to make sure you're hitting with the good part of your hand. We're going to turn. We're going to do our ridge hand now. Remember, right here, this is what we're trying to feel. If you feel your thumb getting hit a lot, that's a bad sign. You might have had your thumb out too much, or you might have twisted your hand too much. Don't hit your thumb. That will feel terrible if you try to do it on something hard. Ready? Ridge hand. 1, pop. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, now we're switching to a palm heel. Now, by the way, palm heel is the one that's actually best to have a ball for, right? So we're going to hold it, and we're going to turn the ball towards us like that. You can kind of see from the side. I'm going to do these mostly sideways. And we're just going to hit, and we want to make sure that we feel only the heel of our palm touch, not our fingers, right? So if you have a really floppy teddy bear, right, this may be a little bit tough to do, so you may want to switch to a ball, but like I said, you can do it with a teddy bear too. Just make sure you feel it hit here and not hit your fingers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm beating up this poor ball. All right, we're going to do the same thing the other hand, making sure we understand where we hit with our strike. So hold it, and just tap it. 1, 2, 3, don't break it. 4, and 5. Okay, so you can do that with your strike some more if you're not feeling like you're hitting it with a good part of your hand, but as you work on that, you shape your hand the right way, you feel that hit the ball, that will mean that you're safer and safer to use that strike whenever we are able to practice on a pad or a heavy bag or whatever it is. All right, so great job. Let's get ready for the next part of class. All right, so we've been talking about focus a lot this month, and it's an important idea. And remember, focus basically means that we keep our eyes, our ears, and our mind on what we're doing, right? And that allows us to do whatever we're doing the best that we can. It keeps us from making mistakes where people could get hurt or things could get ruined, right? It helps us to get better grades and be more successful and win and all those good things, right? So those are things that we want. We want to learn how to be focused, and we also want to learn how to deal with distractions, right? Remember, a distraction is anything that makes your eyes, your ears, or your mind go off of what you're doing, right? And distractions can come in many forms, right? Sometimes a distraction is a thing, right? Like I got distracted by the TV, right? Or I got distracted by, I don't know, a tree outside my window, okay? And sometimes a distraction is a person, right? Like, you know, your brother, your sister, your friend, right? Even your parents sometimes are a distraction from what you're doing potentially, right? Because like, oh wow, what's dad doing? That's very interesting. Much more interesting than reading this book right now, okay? So we want to know how to deal with those distractions. And we also want to make sure that we're not a distraction for others, right? And we've been talking about that a little bit recently. We've talked about the idea of if something is distracting us, maybe we move away from that thing, right? So if you're in the house and you're trying to do your reading for school and the TV is on, you move away from the TV, right? Or maybe you turn off the thing. If it's appropriate, maybe you turn off the TV, okay? And sometimes we ask whatever's distracting us to leave us alone, right? So our brother keeps bothering us and we say, not right now, I need to finish my reading, I'll play with you after, right? Or can I finish my homework, and after I finish my homework, then I'll do that, right? So we've talked a little bit about that idea, and we also want to make sure that we're not being a distraction to our family, right? So if our mom or dad has to work from home, right? And sometimes work is, you know, their regular job. Sometimes it's something else like cooking, right? They need to take care of food and stuff like that, okay? We don't want to be a distraction to them then, right? So we might think about, well, what can I do if my parents need to be able to focus? Maybe I go into the other room, right? Maybe I, you know, I don't know, a million things, right? Maybe you help them, right? Maybe you help them cook instead of being a distraction. Those are all different options that we can consider. What my challenge is to you today is I want you to try and think of at least 2 times that in the last couple of days, or in the last week we'll say, that you've handled someone distracting you or something distracting you and how you did it, right? Take a minute and think about that one. Also, I want you to think about what are 2 things that I can do over the next week to handle a distraction better, right? Because you know that you're in the house with your brother, or you know that you're in your house with your mom, right? And maybe you're going to not distract your mom, and you're going to do that by, well, when she needs to cook dinner, I'm going to make sure that I'm reading my book for school, right? Or when she needs to answer a work call, that I will make sure that I sit quietly and I, whatever, read, play a video game on my iPad even potentially is better. Okay, so think about those things. If you need to, pause this, right, so you have time to think. We're going to keep moving on with the next part of class, though. Okay, so we're going to be reviewing control number 5 and control number 6 today. We're going to do a quick review of things that we've done recently, and then we're going to add in a couple steps. So we start out feet even, right? We're going to take one hand, we're going to brush across, we're going to grab, we're going to back fist. Remember, this is a brush block, right? I'm pushing their hand, I'm grabbing the wrist, I'm back fisting them in the nose, right? We're going to do that 3 times. Brush, grab, back fist. Brush, grab, back fist. Brush, grab, back fist. Same thing the other side, because 5 and 6 are essentially the exact same opening, right? They just are on the other side of the body. One where you dodge in front of them and you kind of can see their belly, and one where you're behind them and you can see their back, right? So we brush, grab, back fist, brush, grab, back fist, brush, grab, back fist. One more time. Brush, grab, back fist. It should be pretty easy by now. If it's not, that's okay. Stop this. Practice a couple more times until you feel comfortable with it. Rewind, whatever you need to do. We're going to move on to the dodge. Now, when we dodge, we move out of the way. We've covered this before. Okay. When we move, we block or do the brush with whatever hand ends up closest to the screen, right? So I turn, should still be facing towards the screen, brush, grab, back fist. Right? If you end up dodging and you kind of point your back to the screen, it means you dodged the wrong way. Don't do that, right? So we're going to go the same direction, brush, grab, back fist. 2 more times, brush, grab, back fist. 1 more time, go. Okay, good. Now we're going the other direction. Same basic idea. We move to the outside. We brush, we grab, we back fist. We go again. And we brush, we grab, and we back fist. Right? The brush starts at the elbow, goes down to the wrist. The grab is for the wrist, and the back fist is to the face. All right, let's do it one more time. Brush down to the wrist, grab the wrist, back fist them in the face. Okay. So now we've got to go into the endings of these 2 techniques. Control number 5 and control number 6. And reminder, control 5 is when you move in front of them. So if they punch with their right hand, you move in front of them and you brush with your right hand. I'm not mirroring that, but that's okay. Right? And if they punch with their right hand, for control 6, you move behind them and you brush with your left hand. Okay, I'm going to show you control number 5 from the side first. Okay? I'm standing here. The imaginary bad guy tries to punch me. I move in front of the imaginary bad guy. I brush with my right hand. I grab with my left hand. I brush with I back fist with my right hand, and then I punch with my left hand. All we do is we add in a punch, right? I'm going to do it facing towards you. I'm not really mirror. Oh, I'll mirror this time. I brush, I grab, I back fist, and I punch. That punches right to the body, right? Now, when we're practicing in class, the big thing that we're working on is control, a sense of range. A little bit hard to practice a sense of range when you're practicing by yourself. But it doesn't mean that you can't learn the pattern. So you brush, grab, back fist, punch. Right? We're going to do a few of these. Try and match me. So if I'm going this way on your screen, you should be going this way on the screen too. Okay? So we dodge out of the way, brush with your right hand, grab with your left hand, back fist with your right hand, and then punch with your left hand. Now, you'll notice my other hand is up by my face. Don't let it drop down. Don't rub your tummy. Keep it up, protecting yourself, right? So we're going to do that 3 times. This is control number 5, right? So we dodge this way, we brush, we grab, we back fist, and then we just take the hand that was grabbing and we punch, okay? By the way, on control number 5, you're going to notice there are 5 moves. As compared to 6, we do 6 moves. We brush out of the way, dodge, brush, that's 2. Grab, that's 3. Back fist, that's 4. Punch, that's 5. Okay? We're going to do that 2 more times. Ready? Dodge, brush, grab, back fist, punch. 1 more time. And dodge, brush, grab, back fist, punch. Okay. So that's control number 5. What I'd like you to do is just try and do it 1 time without my help. Go ahead. Okay, now, assuming that you were able to do it in the amount of time I just gave you, and you felt pretty comfortable and confident, you should move on. If not, you might want to rewind a little bit or practice a couple times by yourself, right? Like I said, you can always pause this. I'll be right here when you come back, right? Now we're doing control number 6. On control number 6, you're going to be dodging to your left. Okay, so that way, right? So we're going to dodge out of the way. We brush with our left hand. We grab with our right hand. We back fist. And now this is where it gets tricky. The hand that just did the back fist grabs. So it's kind of like you would be grabbing 2 things at the same time. You can see my hands. Okay? One is grabbing the wrist, one is grabbing the shoulder. I hold on to both of them. I take the leg that's closest to the camera, closest to you, closest to the screen, whatever way you want to think about it. I pick that up and I roundhouse kick them in the back of the leg. Okay, I'm going to show this one to you from the side. I'm over here. I dodge out of the way. I'm behind my opponent. I take my left hand to brush, my right hand to grab, my left hand to back fist, my left hand to grab. I hold on to both. That is the most common mistake I see with beginners. They're like, oh, okay, I'm going to let go. I'm going to grab with this. brush, grab. I'm holding on with both. I take the leg that's closest to the bully, and I kick him. Boom, right in the back of the leg, right over here behind your knee. Okay. So we're going to practice this one a few times together, 5 times together for control number 6. Starting right here, you're dodging that way. Ready? Dodge. Brush with the hand that's closest. Grab with the other hand. Back fist with the hand that's closest. If you end up having your arms crossed right now, like you're like, oh, Sensei Jeff, I'm hugging myself. You did it wrong, right? Take the hand that's closest, grab their shoulder. Take the leg that's closest, kick them in the leg. Boom, just like that. Okay, we're doing it again. Set yourself up a little bit smoother. Dodge to your left, brush with your left, grab, back fist, grab, and kick, right? We're gonna do that a couple more times. Ready? Dodge, brush, grab, back fist, grab, kick, boop. Okay, let's do it 2 more times, but we're gonna go a little faster. Ready? Dodge, brush, grab, back fist, grab, and kick. 1 more time. Being quick. Ready? Dodge, brush, grab, back fist, grab, and kick. Okay, now just like we did for control number 5, I want you to practice that by yourself. Ready, set, go. Okay, so if you're able to finish it in that period of time, right, and you did it correctly, that's a good sign. If not, you may want to pause, rewind, and review, right? But that's control number 5 and control number 6. It's the same start that we've been practicing for a couple weeks now, right? But we're just adding in the finish, either a punch to the stomach or grab and kick to the leg, right? So great job on that. Let's get ready for the next part of class. All right, so we're going to end today with a little bit of Sensei Says, right? Now, basically, Sensei Says is a lot like Simon Says if you've never played Sensei Says before, where if I say Sensei Says punch, and you punch, you're good. If I say Sensei Says, or if I don't say Sensei Says, if I just say punch, and you punch, not so good, okay? So you only do it if I say Sensei Says, right? So let's practice a couple. So Sensei says punch, Sensei says punch, punch, you don't punch, okay? So you got the basic idea. Now, the way this is gonna work, this is not an elimination style of this, right? This one is accumulate enough points and then you win, okay? You need to get to, let's go with 10 points to win, okay? So you give yourself a point if you do it when I say Sensei Says, or if you don't do it when I don't say Sensei Says, okay? I'm gonna do it every single time. So if you're just watching me, that's no good. We gotta focus our ears, we gotta listen carefully to what I say, right? Don't just watch what I do, listen to what I say, right? So we get into our fighting stance, really simple, right? Oh, by the way, we're gonna be doing moves we've done in class, so palm heel and shoot or chop and ridge hand and, right? And then some other things that I know we've done, right? Like brush and front kick and whatever, right? Dance moves, maybe not dance moves, right? So start off in your fighting stance. Doesn't matter which leg's in back. Ready? Sensei says palm heel. Right? So if you did it, give yourself a point. If you didn't do it, don't. Sensei says chop. Same thing. If you did it, give yourself a point. If you didn't, don't. Ridge hand. Now if you did it, don't give yourself a point, because I didn't say Sensei says, but if you didn't, good for you, right? Sensei says ridge hand. Good. If you did it, give yourself a point. Right? Sensei says front kick. I know we've done front kick before. You know how to do that one. Front kick. If you did it, no point. But if you didn't do it, good job. You get a point. Right? Palm heel. Oh, don't let me trick you. Palm heel. No, Sensei says palm heel. Good. Keep going. Once you get 10 points, you're done with the class. And you can get going. Ready? Jab. Sensei says jab. Sensei says jab. Palm heel. No point there if you did it. Good. Sensei says brush, grab, back fist. By the way, it doesn't matter which side you did. As long as you did it, then you get a point. Brush, grab, back fist. That time you wouldn't get a point because I didn't say Sensei says. Sensei says ridge hand. If you did it, give yourself a point. Sensei says chop. If you did it, give yourself a point. Now, a lot of you already done. I'm going to do a few more. If you haven't won by the end, that's okay. can rewind, try it again, see if I trick you. Ready? Sensei says palm heel. Faster, palm heel. If you did it, I tricked you. No point. Sensei says palm heel. Good. And Sensei says chop. Well, I used my other hand. Sensei says chop. Other hand, chop. Well, if I did it, don't let me trick you. No point there. And chop. Did I trick you? Sensei says chop. All right. So hopefully you're able to beat me in Sensei Says today. Great job. I look forward to seeing you in class soon.